Well, hey there. Do you enjoy Brick Breaker games? Do you also enjoy roguelikes? Then boy, do I have a game for you. Ball X Pit, or as I will call it throughout the rest of this video, Ball Pit. It is the new hot game from Devolver Digital, and you won't know what hit you. You'll be addicted in no time, and you won't know how to stop. You'll go from seeing balls flying around your screen to even seeing balls in your dreams. But hey, maybe you're into that sort of thing. Who doesn't love some good balls? There are tons of options here, so let's get into the review and we'll talk about it further. Alright, but now that we got that goofy intro out of the way, hey, how's it going? Ball Pit is what's been on my mind a lot lately. After playing the game for the first few hours, I then spent the next few days playing the game for a few dozen more hours, until I realized that I had spent roughly 30 hours and completely beat the game. I unlocked every building, every character, and all that to say that I really enjoyed it. It's not perfect. It has some flaws, which we will get into, but overall it's a solid ass game. It kept me hooked the entire time, and it's only $15. Like, come on man, I love a good, cheaper, fun experience that I can just dump some time into. Or not, but having it at a cost that feels right is just icing on the cake. As with most of my reviews, I'll be showing off most of the game, so there will be spoilers for characters, the levels, balls, and so on. So without further delay, let's move right on to the story, in which there really isn't one. You start the game by watching a meteor smash into a town, then you rebuild that town by going into the giant hole that it created. By the end of the game, I think it's supposed to suggest that the characters and their balls that you use on your run are what caused the meteor, maybe? They like fly off into sky and then come crashing back down? I don't know, that's not really the point here. Story is not something many people come to these roguelikes to experience, and it's about the same here. It's all about the gameplay. So let's chat about that. So for the gameplay, if you've ever played Arkanoid or the other Brick Breaker adjacent titles, you'll have a general idea of the gameplay. You control a thing near the bottom of the screen, and above you are things to break and complete the level. But for this one, you have a character that can move around the arena that shoots different sort of balls of different shapes, sizes, and specialties. The things that you're breaking are monsters and such who have a bit of variety, from shooting back at you to mushrooms that can cause other monsters near them to move up the field faster. And if they happen to reach the bottom, then they'll smack you for a good bit of damage, and also if you get too close to them, they can do so as well. They'll reach out and just give you a good little slap, and if you lose all of your health, then that's game over. Simple enough, right? Well, that's just the start, because as you progress and play the game, you will earn some XP and unlock some new balls and passives. This XP contributes to upgrades for your characters that make them slightly stronger over time, along with also gaining a rainbow swirly thing that allows you to combine and fuse balls together during the gameplay. Sometimes they can create a new ball type, or sometimes it just combines the attributes of both balls together to allow for some pretty sick combos. If you happen to get a new ball type altogether, you can continue fusing these balls with other balls as well. Learning the new combos and having them work in tandem with your specific character or passive perks is what makes the gameplay loop so fun. Just like with Vampire Survivors and the others that are like it, you can sometimes get some pretty broken combinations up front, or just get lucky on some synergies, but not always, and when this happens, your run can end pretty swiftly. I could spend a lot more time discussing all of the different ball types and passive perks, but there's an entire encyclopedia for that, so go read up on it if you're that curious. So let's instead chat about progression, since I feel like that's the second biggest element here. So once you finally die on a run, you'll return to this shabby little town that you're rebuilding, and it starts simple, with creating some resource nodes and passive upgrades. Every building you create has a unique shape and must be placed down onto the newly acquired land that you're working to rebuild, and this is where it plays a bit more like pinball almost. These structures can be moved around freely, then you can launch your characters that act as balls that you've unlocked over time at these buildings and resources to collect materials and actually upgrade the buildings for unlocks. Once that building gets smacked enough and that structure gets finished, then you unlock that character, perk, or passive upgrade. It's a fun and unique system, but it's a bit more on the simple side because as you get further in, you'll realize that you get way more resources doing runs and other things compared to trying to maximize your ability to collect these resources during this little mini game. You can only complete one of these as well, But upgrading your buildings are vital to unlocking new perks, characters, and other random bonuses along your time playing. These can usually be upgraded multiple times, and anytime that you build something or upgrade, you end up needing your little pinball dudes to smack into them a few dozen times before they're completed. So the best setup for this is to put any building that needs to be built or upgraded right up front, and then just launch your dudes into them to have them bounce back and forth as quickly as possible, and that allows that upgrade to be completed effectively and efficiently. It's fairly simple though, so once you get used to this, it gets a little bit boring. I never hated this part, but at the same time I was like, well, let's kind of just get it over with so I can get back to the fun. But speaking more on those, these character unlocks and passives are pretty wild. The passives can range from just more health to faster balls to more overall damage. The characters do start off a bit more on the basic side, just having different ball types for the most part, but then you drastically change your gameplay as you unlock more of them. To list a few, you can have a knight with a shield who bounces balls back into the field instead of absorbing them and needing to relaunch them, or a guy who sends his balls from the back of the field. There's even a dude that makes them jump over the first thing that's in front of them, allowing them to kind of hit those tight spots where enemies can be bunched up, and that way you can just kind of blow them all up in one go. One of the more dramatic changes that I actually enjoyed quite a bit was making the game turn-based, or even the shotgun guy that just blasts the balls out in all directions. And then the final character that you unlock, which is a pretty funny one, I'll admit, was one who played the damn game for you. He makes all the selections of the balls and the passives, he moves around the screen, collects all the XP, dodges the attacks, and although he sorta sucks at the game in general, it is fun to kind of watch him go at it. I just sat there watching videos and anime or chatting with my friends, and I'd let the little dude run off and do his thing while I kind of kept up with him a little on the side. But once you beat the levels enough times, you'll get enough cogs to unlock the next zone, and I found the first half of the game to be pretty difficult, especially the sand and the mushroom level. But after I completed those, the game got really easy. So let's chat about the bosses and how I felt about the game after my roughly 30 hours. The enemy variety is very diverse. Every zone has its unique quirks, specific enemies that have traits that aren't found in the other zones or levels. Whether it be shooting giant ground attacks at you or homing arrows, all of these are made for fun and engaging gameplay. The bosses are also pretty damn good. None of them are all that great, but they're good enough. I found the last few to be a bit more boring than the first couple ones. The first 3 or 4 had really good designs and were clever, made me think about how I was combating them, and I had to be more specific in the way that I kind of approached that boss fight. But this lack of complexity in the later half of the game had me less intrigued to see it through to the end. But luckily, the regular gameplay kept me hooked more than anything has recently. But without that hook, I probably wouldn't have finished Ball Pit, because as I spent the 30 hours or so unlocking everything and maxing out most of the stats for every character, there's still a very small number of things that I didn't complete, but at this point I've already uninstalled the game because I've seen pretty much everything it has to offer, and I had a fun ass time while I was doing so, but I'm ready to move on. And a few little comments here as we're approaching the end of this review. The pixel art and graphics are nothing too fancy, but they stick with the clever art direction where none of your characters have eyes. They all seem to be strange individuals with strange emotions on their faces. The enemies are also funky and goofy at the same time as well. The art for the ball combinations are pretty fun and exciting to be able to see what comes next after I smash these two balls together. Speaking of ball combos, there were a lot, and I felt like I was wanting just a little bit more though for some reason. I mean, I just want more. Let me combine the weird and quirky balls. Maybe once I hit the end game, let me amp up the difficulty even more and then make crazier combinations. Also, I think my favorite ball is a lot of the elemental ones, including the earthquake and the freeze, or even the cell ball that splits off and clones itself, because with that one even my balls have balls. And the variety here was impressive. I never felt like I was too overpowered with any build that I got online finally, compared to something like Binding of Isaac or my experiences in Risk of Rain 2, where you can get that one-off build that just kind of mows through everything, and it feels incredible. That never really happens here. You can get some pretty strong builds, but you'll almost never find one that's just completely insane and mows through everything instantly. The level designs on the other hand are great and they fit the world. The audio is fantastic and the music is something that I found myself vibing to on a regular basis. So to wrap this review up, as an overall package, This game fucking rocks. I have to mention the price again because it's only $15. This is the golden age of gaming, and I fucking tell you what, I can't get over how polished, how fun, and how incredible some of these games are, and at great prices. Devolver, for a long time, has been a publisher that I've kept my eye on. For their incredible eye for detail and great games, this one fits all of those same categories and characteristics of previous games that I have loved from them. I hope the developer of this game as well gets all the love and keeps creating good shit because they've got an eye for it with Ball Pit. Anywho, that is going to be it for this review, and I hope you enjoyed. As always, if you made it to the end of the video, do all that dumb YouTube stuff, and I will see you next time.